Now, I did want to mention that we will be creating the tire treads for the tires, but we're going to be doing that later in the project. We'll actually build one of the treads and then use that array modifier again to wrap them all the way around the tire. But for the interior now, let's create that rim around the opening here. If we go in and look at our reference images, you'll see that we've got, here, let's take a look at this one. I'm going to press Control Spacebar. And you see we've got this kind of padded rim around the shape of the interior here. So let's go ahead and work on that. And I think a path would probably be the way to go for this. We can create a path of the same shape here and then expand it out, expand the geometry out to get this kind of circular feel to it. So let's work on that. What let's do is let's hide the windshield here, the frame, the weather stripping, and the windshield, and let's just hit the H key to hide those. And then, let's see, from the top view, we could take a path and draw the shape around the opening here. Let's try that. So what I'll do is I'll just press Shift-A, Curve, and Path. And then let's scale this down quite a bit. Maybe something like this. I'll move it down to about here where this is. Here, I'll press Alt-Z. And let's tab into Edit Mode. And then I'm just going to take these two away. I'll delete vertices. And let's then add a mirror modifier to this. I'll come over here to Add Modifier, Mirror. And there we go. So now if we tab into Edit Mode, we've got these points. We can see the path on the other side. Right, we can see that, so we can kind of see when we're getting to the right points or the right place as we extrude these out. So now with this selected, let's hit E and pull out like that. And I'm keeping an eye over here as well. And then let's hit E and come over to here, maybe right about there. E, I'll put one there, and one here, and then we could grab these and begin moving these out just a bit, right? We can just kind of get these in place. And then let's select this again, hit E and move this out like that. We could bring this, we could bring it right to here. Let's try that. And then we need this curve here, so I'm going to hit E, E again, and again, and again like that. And then we can select these and begin trying to get this curve to match up with that shape here. Kind of like that. And now we hit E for that, E, and I'll hit one more here. Oh, and we don't have clipping turned on. Let's do that. Let's come over here, turn on clipping in the mirror modifier, and then we should be able to hit G, and now they clip together there. There we go. All right, so we've got this basic shape. That's good, but the problem is we've only done it in one dimension, so we're going to have to come over here and bring this up off the grid floor, right? So let's tab into Edit Mode, hit the A key, and let's bring this up. And I'll bring it up to maybe right about here. Let's try that. And then what we can do is take these, and I'll bring this down right to here, because we want to go on the inside of the door here. So then we can take these and bring these up like this, right, about like this. And then I'll grab these, and I'm just going to bring these up to right here. And do the same with these, same with these, right? So I'm just bringing each few up a little bit farther, and maybe something like this. Let's try this. Yeah, like about like that. Okay, so we've got that. Now let's work on this area over here. So I'll select these and bring these up into here. And these up then like that. And let's see, where do we, oh, here we go. These Just keep bringing them on up to get that basic shape. Now we're going to have to go through and do a bit of adjusting, of course, but this will at least get us close. Right, so let's now begin getting these in place. Let's tab back into object mode and take a look at it. Alt-Z. So now as we tumble around, we can kind of see how we're doing here. This doesn't look too bad here. I could maybe bring these out just a little bit. Let me hit the 7 key again. We could maybe bring these out just a little bit, like this. And yeah, I think that's pretty good. All right, let's tumble around and see how we're doing here. All right, I think that's pretty good. That looks pretty tight, pretty close to what we want all the way around. So now we just have to do our same trick that we've done before, is just use the bevel section here in the object data properties of that path. So we scroll down here, and under bevel, we can then click and drag in the depth field like this. And let's see how big we want this. I'm thinking kind of like this. Let's take a look at it. Yeah. So now the nice thing about this is we can come through and we can begin adjusting these as needed. So if we want to pull some of these down a bit, we can do that, right? And let's see, we can come over here. Actually, this all looks pretty good. It really doesn't look too bad. Okay, so since we've got that, let's just say we've got it to where we want it. Now what let's do is convert it to a mesh, and maybe we can add some of these pieces on like this. So let's select it, and let's hit the Z key and go to wireframe so we can see the resolution. And it's once again got a lot of polygons, or it would have a lot of polygons if we converted it now. Let's take this resolution preview down to 3. That's worked pretty well for us so far. And down under the bevel section, let's take this down to 2. Let's do that. Now let's go back. I'll hit Z, go back to solid. Let's take a look and see what we think. Yeah, that's not bad. I think I can live with that. I'm going to take these down just a little bit like that. Okay. And maybe back a bit. Let's see. Maybe just back a little bit like this. Okay. Now what we can do is go ahead and convert it. I'll right click and choose convert to a mesh. And then if we tab into edit mode, there we go. Okay, so now we've got these. That's good. Let's work on this guy right here. If I look at it, trying to see if let's go to the top view and take a look at it. And it looks to be like maybe these in here. Let's take a look. I'll alt click between 2 faces here. Yeah, and it looks like it should be a little bit wider than that. So I think what I'm going to do is select the faces on either side. So I'm going to press Control and the plus key on the numpad to expand the selection. And then I'm going to press Shift D, Enter, and let's split this off as its own object. I'll press the P key, separate by selection, and there we go. So now we have that. Now before we do anything, let's take these edges here and let's bring these in. I'm going to hit G 2 times and bring these in a bit like that. And I feel like this one could come in a little bit like that. So I just felt that it was a little bit wider than that initial collection of polygons. All right, so let's now expand that a bit, or even use the solidify modifier. We could do that. Actually, what I'll do is I'll expand it with Alt-S. Alt-S, remember that's the shrink fatten tool. And then bring it out about like this. And then let's go back to the modifiers panel and let's add a solidify modifier. And then we can click and drag in here and expand that so we get a little bit of thickness there. I'll click even thickness. Let's take a look at it. It's a little ugly. We could come down here to our object data properties, turn on auto smooth, and then drag that up from 30 to like 50 or so. And I think ultimately we will probably add a subdivision surface modifier to that. But if I come back over here, we could add a mirror to it. Let's try that. Mirror, and there it is over on the other side. All right, so we've got the beginnings of this trim around the interior. In the next video, we'll maybe work on these little pieces here, and let's also begin working on the seats as well. So that's coming up next.